Okay, so last week we had an introduction to e-commerce, right? And what a startup looks like. So we're gonna now understand how it actually works, right? In terms of um, if you were to start your own business, e-commerce business, how to get about. Most of us don't know, right? Because obviously we haven't started a lot of businesses. Um, and e-commerce business is quite unique compared to other business. Let's say if you have a shop, physical shop, right? Um, Compared to that, e-commerce business is quite different because there's technology involved. And then, you're dealing with a global audience, right? Because with a shop, you can just start a shop and then, let people, you do a little bit of marketing and people show up in your shop, right? Compared to e-commerce business where you have to do a bit of due diligence in terms of, how you go about it. So, um, let me share my screen. And again, this could be more theoretical, and I've just uploaded a module too on the canvas. So we're just gonna look at that. Um, all right, do you guys see my screen? Okay, cool. All right, so here's the module two, right? Um, so one of the first thing you want to do is you want to when you want to start an e-commerce business, you need to understand. I think we covered this last time. The two kinds of business, right? One is product based, and one is a service based, right? If you're building a product based business, for example, let's say you're selling cool t-shirts. Let's say you buy plain t-shirts and then you can put creatively you can build some cool things, right? On it and then set it online. Or you can customize it for people, right? Where people can go online and create a template with what they want to build, and then you build a t-shirt for them, ship it to them, something like that, right? Um, it's a it's a very common business nowadays. So here you have a product, and the product itself is t-shirt, right? So that's called product-based business because you need inventory. You need t-shirts because you're not going to build t-shirt yourself, right? You buy these plain t-shirts from some supplier, right? And then you have to also mail the final product to the customer, right? So that's a product-based business. Service-based business is quite different. There's no product involved in a physical product, right? Let's say if I build a service where I'm look, it's a website where uh, based on your location, I'll show you where to get the best gasoline, right? So let's say I typically buy, um, you know, 89 or whatever standard gasoline. It'll say, okay, this shop gives you the best rate, so go there, and then you can look at the how far it is and make a decision, right? Uh, what am I selling? It's just a service. I make money from advertisement, right? So I'll show up, so I'll put some advertisement, and then people would uh, come to my website. While they visit the website, they look at the advertisement, and I make money from it, right? This is how YouTube make money. You visit the site, and then there are advertisement embedded inside the videos, or um, banners and things like that, right? So this is similar, but it's a service. There's no physical product. Okay, so you need to understand which kind of product, what kind of business you want to start. Do you want to start a products type business or a service type business, right? Uh, um, so you first of all you have to come up with an idea, whichever business you're starting, right? Where would you get an idea for the business? Any idea? How would you get an idea for a business?
Maybe ask people you know and ask what kind of services or products um, they would like to see. Or
Mhm. Yeah, that's a good idea. There are two kinds of ways to deal with it, right? Let's say it depends on where you're coming from. Let's say you have no idea what to start, right? But you know that you want to start a business, okay? You want to make money. So you determine that yes, whatever I start, I'm gonna put my heart and soul in it, and eventually, I will, make money from it. So, um, the way it works is, um, you would once you do that, um, you can ask. There are a lot of research you can do, right, online. You can say, "Hey, I want to start a business. Give me an idea." Right? Nowadays, we have AI. So AI would print your list and then you can go through, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And don't limit yourself to, one idea. Um, you just think about multiple ideas, right? And then uh, be open-minded, right? Because you never know which one would work, right? Uh, But let's say if you're a new runner, and if I told you that, um, go to, let's say, start from San Jose and go to Machu Picchu, okay, you're gonna be okay, that's just too far, right? But if I say, go to San Francisco, yeah, that's reasonable, right? So you want to pick something that is ambitious, but something you can achieve, right? And then the second kind of person would be they have something to offer they already know. For example, let's say I love teaching. I know I have a skill that I can use to make money, right? So what I can do, I can build a tutoring service, right? I can write a book. Um, what else can I do? I can build course for online, like a Udemy and other places, right? Yes, I may not be able to make a lot of money, but it's a business idea, right? So you can do things like that. Um, so I would suggest that, you know, think about what you always wanted to do. Maybe you'll find some way to, because and also don't restrict yourself. Oftentimes people, what they do is they look at the business idea and they say, you know what? I don't think it's possible for me to do this, right? But if you think in terms of, I'm gonna have an idea, it looks good, okay, um, but I'm gonna keep it on site, and I'm gonna evaluate, see if it's possible, right? That's a great way to, you know, um, get started. I think I saw like some international movie. I don't remember the name of the movie, but some guy, he was an ex-pilot. Um, he didn't have any money, but he wanted to have his own airline. He was pretty sure he can do that. And in the movie, he ends up doing that, right? And the way obviously you need to have your model, right? There's so many airlines, first of all. You need a lot of capital. That's a first. If I had like $1 billion, I can start my own airline. I think each airplane, if you buy old airplane, it can cost you like 50 to 60 million dollars, right? And you need other things. So even to have just one flight, you need $50 million. Okay. So, but that guy was, thinking uh far ahead. And but anything is possible. But sometimes you have to think in a smaller term. Maybe you can start something and you can expand it, right? So that is another way of doing this. So yeah, think in that term. Okay, so let's say you have a business idea. You shortlisted a few things, right? Next thing you want to do is you want to do some research. Okay. So it's called research the business idea. You need to understand, um, is it really practical? Um, have you heard the name Jeff Bezos? Okay, um, Amazon founder, right? He he started Amazon in early 90s. Okay, there was a movie about him I watched, and also I used to work for Amazon, so I know the story because they made us watch on the first day of the orientation. But the story is actually pretty inspiring. Um, he saw some article. This is the back in the days where internet was just coming up, right? And the articles were saying that um, the internet would grow exponentially every year, and then there'll be like billions of user in few years. So he thought, you know what? What if I can sell something on the internet, right? And nobody was selling on that in those days. Maybe there were some primitive websites and all that stuff. So he figured, I will sell, but then he didn't know what to sell. Should I sell groceries or shoes or what? And then so he figured that books are the best way to go about, because books are, if you think of book, right? Uh, you are getting what you see, right? There is no, like, if I have a book in mind, if I look at the book online, I know what I'm gonna get, right? So it's very predictable compared to if I want to buy shoes. If I look at it, it might look completely different when I get it, right? So there's a chance that people might return it. Nowadays, everything is sold online, but back in the days, um, he was pretty new to it, right? So he figured, need to be safe in this space. Uh, so he did that. Now, uh, guess what kind of research he must have done? If you were let's say Jeff Bezos in early 90s, uh, you want to start a online bookstore, what kind of research would you have done? Any ideas? Imagine there are stores everywhere, like Barnes and Noble, which we don't have it right now. But back in the days, they had, right? So the first thing you would do is you go check out a bookstore, how they sell it, right? So um, that's what he did. He would go to Barnes and Nobles and he would spend a few hours there understanding their model, look at watch people, how people buy, maybe ask them, right? Would you buy a book online, right? Uh, Obviously that would look pretty weird, but I mean, you have to, yeah, we want to start a business, you have to be a little bit weird um, to make money, right? So, um, second thing you would do is find out where are they where are they getting the books from? Okay. Anyone know how to get the books if you're not buying from a store? They're suppliers. There are some major suppliers where you just have to call them, say, hey, I have this book that I need. I mean, this is back in the days. Now they all have, websites, right? but you have to call them, say, I'm looking for this title, and then they will ship it to you. Okay. So while he did his, and he used to go to these conferences, you know, they're called book conferences where a lot of bookstore owners would go. So he would go and then figure it out how it works. Um, so as I said, there are two kinds of research. One is primary research, where you actually go and interview people. You know, if you have money, you can do a lot of things, right? You can just create a focus group, do surveys and all that stuff, right? To understand what people want, what are their habits and whatnot, right? Um, or you can look at some statistic that is already available. Okay. Um, so he did that. So one of the first thing he wanted to ask is, who is my customer? In that sense, if you're selling books, everyone's is a customer, right? Students, um, you know, pretty much everyone. But I think a lot of times younger folks uh, buy textbooks. Usually adults between the 20s and 30s, they're too busy. They're probably not going to buy that many books, right? But then after that, a lot of people buy, you know, novels and other books, right? So you need to figure out what is your age group that you're targeting. And one of the things he figured out that one of the questions he asked himself, can I compete with the, you know, likes of Barnes and Nobles? Why do you think he concluded that he can actually compete with them? He can do better than what Barnes and Noble is doing. Any idea how he came about the conclusion? He actually concluded that he will kill Barnes and Noble, which he ultimately did. If you think of a bigger picture, you might have an answer there. Why would you buy from online and wait for 2 days while you're going to go to the shop and buy it? Or why would you go to a shop while you can order from your pajamas from home? So, any ideas? Okay, let's see. Commute? Yeah, yeah. Well, yes, you have to go to the store, right? So he said, okay, that's an advantage for me because people don't have to go to a store. They can receive it. Obviously, the flip side is it will take a few days, right? Back in the days, it's not like what we have today where you can order right now and then a few hours later you have a book in your hand, right? It used to take at least a week back in the days, right? So um, what else? So that's the one thing. Okay, you can purchase them anytime, yes, instead of during the day hour. Yes, that's a good point. You can just purchase if you're busy, you can just do it from anywhere. Um, so that's a huge advantage, right? What else? Avoid talking to people. Yeah, that is, yeah, that's also a good point. If you don't like people, then you don't have to go to store, right? If you don't have a car, you don't have to go to the store. There are a lot of reasons why you don't want to go to store, right? But I'll tell you one of the biggest advantage that he saw, which is if you have a store, a physical store, then you can hold only n number of books, right? Because um, let's say you're looking for Shakespeare's translation that was released in 1955. Okay, most probably that you're not gonna get it, right? Because it's a specific book. Most of the bookstores carry textbooks, famous books, recent releases, more popular, and some other stuff, right? So um, if you if you want to buy something that's unique, you're not gonna get it. But the web store, you can buy anything, right? You don't have this limitation of a physical store. So he figured, and that was his research. He said he goes to the store manager and said, "How many books do you have in this store?" And the manager said, he pulled up some inventory. He had no idea this guy is gonna kill his business, right? He said, "Oh yeah, we have I don't know, 10,000 books." Okay, cool. So he knows that you can only carry 10,000 books at a time, right? So that means if somebody wants outside the 10,000, you have a problem, right? So he figured, okay, I'm gonna sell 1 million books online. Like I'll have 1 million titles, right? More than anyone. So you'll be forced to buy a book online. Okay, so that was one of the thing that he did. Um, and that's why he was confident. So he knew the competition. So that was the second part of it. How your business compares to your competitors, right? So he figured out that he will kill his competitor eventually. Another huge disadvantage in a bookstore is you have a physical location, you're paying for the building, you're paying for the parking lot, you're paying for the employee. There's a cleaning lady who cleans it, there's a shelfer who shelves it, right? Reshelves all the book. There are so many, there's so much cost associated with it. So imagine if you have a $10 book. If you buy it from a store, they're gonna add maybe 20, 30%, right? So the $10 book becomes $13 book. But if you set it online, you can maybe sell it for $12, right? Or even less. Because you don't have that cost, you can, and you can start a warehouse somewhere at nowhere, like I don't know, Utah or somewhere Nevada where land is cheap and and you can serve all the books from that place. So that's how the Amazon does. That was the second thing. First one was bookstores have limitation in number of books, and also they have a huge cost, right? Okay. So then, third thing is regulations. What are the regulations? So if you're gonna sell books um, in all states, what could create a problem in terms of regulation? Any ideas? Sales tax? Yes. Do you know that Amazon did not have sales tax in the beginning? So what they did is really brilliant. And I'm surprised they got away with it for a long time. So the law was if you live in California, you have whatever you sell, you have to pay 8% tax, right? If you, I think Oregon, there's a 0% tax, right? Um, I think Seattle, I forgot if Seattle, I think Seattle also doesn't have a sales tax, uh, but I'm not sure. But anyway, uh, he started his business from Seattle, right? I think there was no sales tax back in the days, which means he can he can sell from Seattle, and if he ships a book to California, he didn't have to pay sales tax. So imagine if you're Barnes and Nobles, you have to pay sales tax um, in the store. Same book if you deliver, You don't have to pay. You didn't have to pay. Now you do, but back in the days I'm talking about, right? So you figure that one out. So he was selling books all over the world uh, without paying, without putting the responsibility of sales tax on the. That's such a good deal, right? So you're saving on the sales tax and also you're saving on the other cost. No wonder that he killed the, you know, the box stores. What else? What other regulations could you have to deal with it? You have to be really creatively thinking here. Remember, each state uh, has its own laws, right? Have you heard lately about laws on books? Different states have different laws on books. Book bans, yeah. Florida bans certain books, which means you cannot sell certain books in Florida. So you need to understand if you building something, you need to understand um, the rules and regulation of that state or of your product, right? So it's not a huge thing, but you when you start, you need to understand, you need to do your research on it, right? Lastly, the market trends. Um, Market trends are important when you have a very specific product. I think books, um, it's different story, but let's say you are let's say you're buying, selling something that you know it's gonna get, you know, uh nobody's gonna, let's say you're selling VCR online, okay, which nobody buys, but maybe there are, you know, five people in the USA wants to buy their VCR because they have some old tapes, right? Um, yes, there'll be demand, but very specific demand, but nobody's gonna once they once they have it, there's no audience, right? Um, so you need to understand where this trend is going, whatever you're buying or selling, right? You need to understand the trends and how it's going to impact your business. So, okay. Um, that's that. So let's do a quick um let's everyone come up with a business. Let's together come up with a business. Any idea? Let's throw some ideas. We're gonna look at some uh business that have products, and then we're gonna look at some business uh that has services. Any ideas? And we can pick one and see what we can do there. Throw some ideas in the chat. Yeah. Ask AI what it thinks and then copy it. Use AI as much as you can. I mean, a lot of people see it as kind of evil thing, but you know, why not just use it to your advantage, right? So, any ideas? I'm gonna start one business. Uh, Selling printed t-shirts. T-shirts, hats, you know, something like that. Okay. I gave one. Well, let's see if anyone else can come up with it. So when I say selling printed t-shirt means you have a specific design. So what you do is, let's say there's a political season right now, right? So you build a t-shirt for, I don't know, Trump or Kamala Harris, have come up with some unique ideas and sell it. Okay. But once the election is over, you do use something else, right? Anything? You can also pick from the homework last time that you did. Selling computers. Okay, selling computers. Um, I'm assuming you're talking about the laptops. Okay, all computers. Okay. So let's laptop, desktop. Okay. Okay. See, always never restrict yourself. Have an idea, throw it outside, right? And then do all the research. A lot of people, what they do, we can't do this because there's already too much out there. Why, for example, if you ask your friends, right, that, hey, I'm going to have a business for selling computers. What do you think the first thing they're going to say? Oh, there's so many people selling computers. What do you think you're going to do, right? Um, so never ask your friends about that's the thing, because there's jealousy sometimes, and they just you can ask opinion once you have something in your mind, right? Um, sometimes, so selling computers is a good idea. Now, then what you do is, how can you different? How can you be different than the people who are selling computers now, right? Um, for example, you can say, okay, I'm gonna sell computers to schools. Okay. Um, I'm gonna sell computers that are built for children only, or something like that, right? So you need to come up with a model. Remember, you have to do your research first of all, that who's selling the computers these days, um, how many people are buying. It's just a going uptrend or downtrend? I think it's a steady trend. Everyone needs a computer, right? So it's a steady trend. Um, so you can say, okay, I'm gonna only sell these kind of computers or that kind of computers, or I can make a computer that has I can add some funky designs to it, right? And then sell it to teenagers or something. I don't know. So you have to come up with understand the competitors, find out who is selling who is companies that have been recently started and then selling computers, how they are doing, right? So any other ideas? So we have two ideas so far: selling printed t-shirts and hats, and selling computers. Anything else? Any service-based ideas? Like starting your dating service, or tutoring service or um, you know, um, free credit reports. I mean, there's so many things. Let's ask AI. Let's ask AI. What is a chat GPT? Oh, you know what? Google. Okay, I'm gonna ask this AI. Let's see. It's called Gemini. Okay. So you know what? Let's ask Chat GPT. Um, I thought there was a. All right. We're gonna ask Chat GPT. Have you guys used Chat GPT? Okay, good. All right. So I'm just gonna write in a plain language. I want to start e-commerce business. Give me some ideas. Oops. It says E. All right. So cool. Well, we have some ideas. Niche. First idea is niche subscription boxes. Curate boxes around specific interests like vegan snacks or self-care product or hobby suppliers. Okay. So what they're saying is you build these boxes and then, like which has good like a vegan goodies and things like that, right? Eco-friendly products. A lot of people, again, they have done, Chat GPT is pretty much usually up on the trends, right? So they know exactly, they pull everything from Leap. Custom apparel. So this is what I was saying, right? That t-shirts, hats, jewelry, right? So this was the one idea to offer, right? Mine is more specific. Home supplies, right? So you're selling organizers, pens, furniture, whatnot. Online courses. So this is what I was talking about, right? Create your own courses. This is pretty good. Pet pet product, health, wellness, homemade um, goods, gift shops. Okay, I'm gonna paste this in the chat and just tell you what you think of these. Corporate wellness, yeah. That's also, oops. Okay, I have to do in two sections. Okay, so yeah, corporate wellness program also a good idea. Um, what would you sell it? Would you sell some physical product or like an online service?
Yeah, stuff like maybe massages and um like metal like let's see. Uh, um, like in office yoga classes, massages, maybe mental health workshops, stuff like that.
Hmm. Yeah, my that's actually a very good idea, and it's very easy to do for a couple of reasons, right? So what do you do? One of my friend was doing this, and I think he could have done a much better job. But you know, what do you do is in Bay Area, you have lots of startup companies, right? Um, and you know that most of the people work there, they're overworked, they have back issues and all kind of stuff, right? They're looking for some sort of, you know, go in the Zen mode and a focus on their health, right? So what do is, uh, again, you don't really need to know anything about wellness programs, right? Just need to research what kind of wellness programs are being offered, right? Then you find the right folks. So what do? You contact few, you know, um, massage therapist, unemployed massage therapists. Maybe go and get a massage from them. See and understand how they do, what kind of personality they have. You just need to maybe just initially just a one male and one female, right? And then um, and then ask them that, hey, I'm gonna recruit you guys, but I need some sort of commitment from you that once I have this business, um, you can provide the service for me, right? And I'll pay. Um, you know, you have to decide some pay structure and whatnot, right? Okay. Um, don't do partnership. Um, just hire them, okay, and have a backup plan as well, just in case they don't work out. Because once they figure out that they can start their own stuff, okay. So keep them away from, how to say, from understanding how it works. You have a separate way of like call them, say, here's a schedule. You need to go there. That's it. Okay. But pay them well once you have it. Okay. So the next thing you do is uh, you you build a profile of services that you're going to offer, right? And then I think the first business you start, you have to do some manual stuff. Okay. Have a website. Go to, so you probably have to pay, I guess, some developers, and we'll look at all this stuff later on in the course, how to go about a lot of things, but I'm just gonna tell you here, for this specific business, right? What you do is you go and build a, get a plain website built. um, don't put any prices, okay, but just say, hey, I'm a business, I do that, this is the service I provide and all that stuff, right? um, and then go to probably the smallest startup, and then just say, you know what, um, I do this kind of services. What you can do for your employees is, you can provide this massage service or wellness service, right? And it doesn't have to be only massage. You provide all this other stuff, right? Maybe a class or whatnot. So these are the service model. And what you can do is, let's say if I'm working in that company, so my company, what they'll do is, they'll say, okay, this is the one of the benefit we offer as a wellness program, right? And we pay 50% of it. So let's say if massage costs $60, company would pay $30. An employee would pay $30. So essentially, employees getting a $30 massage, which is really cheap, right? So a lot of people would do this, right? So it's a one attraction that they can create, and then you can convince them. You go and get the data from the, whatever, and then sometimes you have to bullshit a little bit, but do do whatever is necessary. Use your charm to convince them, right? um and so the way it works is that, okay, we can set up a model where we'll have a website, right? You can share this website with your employees, and it's just nothing but a calendar, right? So people can just go and say book, 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 and so all the appointments would go in the calendar, and you would see it, right? And then what happens? You go there, and then you do a whatever massage that have your people go there do the massage, right? And the way it works is they have to pay you $30, and then at the end of the month you just say to send the bill to the company saying, okay, they're at 100 people had a massage, so your bill is this much, right? So you get some money from customers, and then you get some money from the company, right? It's a really good business. I used to work for a company. Um, it was called Nimble Storage, and they had a massage program. So I remember every Tuesday, the lady who ran the massage center would open her calendar. Within 5 minutes, everything was booked. Okay, for the week, because people just like, I'm just gonna take this lot. I'm gonna take this lot, right? Because such a good service, right? So yeah, uh, hey, maybe a couple of you can get together and start a business, right? Like that. So that's a great idea, to be honest. Um, and once you do with one company, then you have a reference, right? You can go to big companies like, I don't know, go to Microsoft. Usually it's really hard to deal with Microsoft because you have to go with a lot of a corporate bureaucracy. Um, but you can just go around and find out all these companies. Uh, if one company CEO usually know another company CEO, so you can just talk to the guys, hey, can you refer me to some other companies, right? We can provide the same service. Sometimes employees, when you talk to this employee, some employees gonna leave the company, right? So you can say, hey, you're leaving. I'm so sorry, I'm gonna miss you. But where are you going? And I said, well, I'm going to XYZ company. Oh, can you refer us there? We'll provide the same service. So that's another way of doing it. So, and it's a lucrative business, to believe me, right? Once you start making money, you would figure out the sky is the limit. And again, you're not gonna do it yourself, right? Eventually you'll hire people, and then, you'll have more massage therapists, and more of these products that you can do. So yeah. Um, and then in order for, let's say, let's talk about, let's say, selling printed t-shirts and hats. Um, you have to it's actually not a bad business. What you have to do is you need to build a website, right? Then you need some sort of designer who would build design for you, right? And then people can see his designs on the website, and then you have to do marketing. So if I go to on Twitter right now, there's a lot of political stuff going on, right? So a lot of people, um so you said something bad. Let's say if you are a Kamala Harris supporter, then you would say something bad about Trump. So make a t-shirt that looks him bad, make him look bad, right? And you can sell it that way. Or if you're other way around, or you can say, oh, he is so great, whatever, the make America great, whatever. And then you can sell Kamala Harris is, because it's a hot topic. I mean, as long as you're selling stuff, you should not care. If you care, then you should do something else. But then you have to realize, let's say, what happens once the election is over. You need to so you need other options as well, right? Christmas, or we there's a store in mall that has really unusual t-shirt. I forgot the name of the store. Um, but they sell these kind of t-shirts, right? So you can figure out, and again, you can, if you make your own that nobody else can get it, That's the thing, right? Maybe some cool logos or some cool statements printed on a t-shirt, you know. Um, yeah. So the only thing here is you probably have to make your garage your factory. So you have to buy these machines are not that big. So what you do is, you know, I've seen these machines. You can it's I don't know how much it costs. Let's check it out actually. T-shirt printing machine for home. Okay, so these are not bad, right? Uh, mostly they're heat presses, right? So yeah, a couple of $100. Not bad. Obviously, if you want to buy something, like this $5,000. But I think once you start making money, you do, right? A lot of people do this kind of stuff. Um, to be honest, in this economy, I would rather, I mean, I'm much older than you folks, but if I was young, I would not work. I would start my own business because, you will never get rich working for somebody, to be honest. Um, in life, you have to take some chances and do something. Um, you know, but not everyone's gonna have success. You have to remember that as well. Something would fail, something would be successful. As long as you put, because when you start a business, one of the key thing is you have to pivot, right? Whatever you start with, uh, if it's not working, you have to change it, right? Let's say your t-shirts are not selling, so you don't just say, "Oh yeah, nobody wants my t-shirt." Maybe you're not marketing enough, or maybe your t-shirt sucks. So you need to find a better design, right? So you need to take some risk, and then you need to figure your model out ultimately. All right. So, but yeah, as you can see, for $200, you can convert your home into a factory. You just have to figure out how much it's gonna cost, and supply chain and XYZ, and let's see how much a t-shirt cost. Um, um, for business printing, right? Okay, look at that. How much is it costing? 99 cents. And you can sell it for how much? $20 or $30, right? So your margins. See, if I buy 1,000 t-shirts, let's do calculation, right? If I buy 1,000 t-shirts, it's gonna cost me $1,000, right? Obviously, I would need a machine. I don't know all the details about, the colors and whatnot, right? But I'm assuming that, let's say you add another $2 to that cost for printing, right? Um, so it costs you $3 to buy a t-shirt, and then print it. And then maybe you charge them shipping it, whoever is buying it. Um, and let's say you sell it for $20, which is very reasonable, right? So you're making, you know, $17 on one t-shirt. So if you sell 1,000 t-shirt, you're making $17,000, right? Um, okay. Obviously, there are some other costs. So let's say 7,000 other, I don't know, you hired a helping hand who's helping you. You pay them, maybe you need to go ship it, you know, so there's a gas cost and all. Let's say $7,000 cost. Even in that case, you're still making $10,000. Printing 1,000 t-shirt is not a big deal. Just like one t-shirt, two t-shirt like that, right? Um, so even considering the waste, you can still make $10,000, right? As long as you have 10,000 customers, right? So that is a key. How do you get that? Which ultimately you would get. So initially you'll make less profit, but once you're more famous, um, like let's say custom t-shirts. Okay, you can see, you know, these are like a bulk size one. Say custom t-shirts, custom design t-shirts. Okay, you can see some of them would cost. These are like a bulk still showing customize a t-shirt. Okay, let's look at this. Uh, Custom t-shirts. Okay, let's say I start my design. I mean, I would not do that, but let's just say if I start my design and I'm just gonna add some text, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this is my t-shirt, let's say. I'm gonna add some colors and all right. I don't know, where is that, the color? It's a bad design. Okay, and then let's make it this color and then make it a little bit bigger. Oh, this is rotation. Maybe I want to keep it like upside down. Text size, I want to increase it a little bit. Okay. All right. Okay. I mean, you can do much better than this, but let's just say we want to get the price. So I'm showing the research part of it. So, okay, so let's say buy and ship. Ship to the address. I know the size I need it. Okay, I will pay for the entire order. I need medium size. I don't know, maybe I need 5 medium size. That's it, right? Continue. Okay, whatever, 6. All right. $26. You gotta be kidding me. Each. Okay. So there you go. That's a good business plan then. I totally. Okay. Obviously, as I said, you're not gonna get like on the first day, you're not gonna start making money. So you figure out, okay, I know there's a market for it. Um, you still need to do some research on what other people offer, right? Let's say I don't want this kind of service where I can build my custom t-shirt. What you want is such that you only given, let's say, 5 or 6 different designs and user can pick from, right? And then so user won't be able to build their own, which is fine. These people are pretty crappy at building this kind of stuff anyway, right? And very few people would do it. I think this is like if you like, I don't know, a lot of people like if they're going to bachelor party or something, they'll build their own t-shirts, right? Because you need a specific t-shirt. you know, party of John or something, right? Which you cannot find outside. So you can build it. But what you want to do is start with a service where you have, you know, specific t-shirts that people can buy in different sizes, right? So you don't have to worry about, you know, designs and things like that. Cool. Yeah. So that's pretty much. Any other questions? All right. So now you have some idea what to do, right? I'm not gonna have a homework for this week, but what I want you to do is start thinking about an idea. You know what? Let me just give you the. I'll put it homework today, which would be just thinking about the ideas, right? Come up with an idea. Maybe come up with 10 ideas, 10 business ideas. Okay. Use Chat GPT or whatever. And then you can filter down maybe two or three that you really like. Okay. Um, and don't do the research. Just without even doing the research, pick something that is close to your heart, and then because you don't want to start researching every idea. You want to have a short listed and then start, right? So I'll put a homework. It should be pretty simple, um, to come up with 10 ideas and then shortlist, uh, two or three ideas from it. All right. Cool. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So I'll see you guys next week. And yeah, have a good weekend and good start of week.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you.